Another year bites the dust, and this time, it's much worse than the last one. Well, not for me, though. It's just as bad. Seeing as this has been the year of the snake, on the Chinese zodiac, that very snake with its venomous fangs bit me. But you want to know what? With all the negativity that there was throughout the year, even in the political spends, especially since the 20th of January, I still saw this year as another way to upgrade myself and grow more mature. However, I think it's time I face the truth now, because there's a whole lot that I never got to share. A lot of this about 2025 not being my year is primarily my fault, because I don't think I was on good terms with my own well-being or my household for most of the time. Being home from college for a longer period of time took a toll on my mental health, because back in college, I get to travel to different places out of my home state and try new things independently, considering how much of an independent adult I am. But after losing that experience to suspension, it feels like I reverted to being a child, mainly because, considering my autism, I act up over the small things, which I know is just wrong. It's silly, really. Not dumb, because that would be very much of an overstatement. I mean, I find that I've been throwing at least a few tantrums over things that are out of my control, which is uncool. Even being dramatic over the small stuff. I've been so used to being so dramatic that it defines me at this point. While I do have everything I need, there have been a few times outside of the social network where I just felt much too greedy, in contrast to what I had said in my 2025 fashion vlog entitled, What I Learned as a Fashionista Since 2023. I've been finding myself wanting more things beyond every single electronic device I have, regardless of how expensive they are. It's not even funny. While one half of me keeps on yelling, I want it now! The other half, the more mature and selfless side of me, has to berate that inferior half and shout, you need more time to consider it, kid. In another case, I see myself wanting my own priorities to be met, not knowing about other people's concerns. It's like I'm not proud of everything that I got, in contrast to my Christmas gifts that year. I was also not proud of my actions as a fourth-year student in college. I was too much of a wreck. The most recent incident back there was obviously in my Motion Design 2 class, in which one of my classmates was presenting an explainer video on how to catch a predator, and I think you know what I'm talking about. It was so triggering that it reminded me of the several times I got abused IRL and framed for seemingly violating Title IX. Those neurotypicals that destroyed my emotions, even using autism as an insult, really saw me as a predator in that case. Though I did manage to do the best job I could of leaving the class and not watching the presentation, I had gone way too far when I had stormed back in, lashed out at that classmate, and pretended to spit on him. It didn't even feel like a joke to him, and that was the final nail in the coffin. Everyone was afraid of me ever since then. Every single one of my classmates. And I was terminally humiliated by my own wrongdoings. Well, not terminally as in for my life, but, you know. My professor called for my immediate suspension, and at that point, the chips were down and I felt like everything was over, or that RIT hated me. So yeah, I was a felon. I know you folks don't see me as one, but I really am just a terrible and despicable person. You skeptics can hate me all you want, but the hatred that I have for myself is bigger than I would like to think. But while that's the case, I've been seeing a therapist regularly, and I've already found a life coach to work with, so that should get me all set up for the new year. The whole time I kept thinking about wanting to improve myself, but alas, I've been ignoring every warning, every single one, that if I keep misbehaving like that, there will be consequences. And there were. And even if I thought I had learned from my mistakes, I never did. And a few other unfortunate things happened during that year. There had been a robbery involving belongings in our car, which included 2 solid-state drives that had my stuff on it. I heard about it just 2 days after my 23rd birthday, and my parents kept lying to me about it before that happened. So when they finally told me the truth, it made me scream, cry, and wish to end it all. But that didn't stop me from going to counseling immediately because of how gravely upset I was. It felt like my creativity was finally dead, but it wasn't. However, sorry, it also impeded me from doing more of my work because of how often I thought about it. It was not nearly as traumatic as the times where I got abused IRL, but it still affected me emotionally. The most recent unfortunate circumstance was that Storm killed itself. No, seriously, it actually took its own life because no matter how many times I tried to unplug and replug it, switch the power supply off and back on, and all that, pressing the power button did absolutely nothing. Nothing! As far as I know, it must have been the power supply that shorted out and not the motherboard. So my dad decided to take it to repair so that I could get it back, so that I can get it back sooner or later, excuse me. And the rest of 2025 not being my year is also due to political stuff, like I said at the beginning, and I'd rather we keep that out of the discussion. It's out of my control anyway. I'm also hoping that 2026 will be a better year for me, but my hype for it harshly fell because I have to deal with my suspension stipulations, which is much tougher than I thought. But I should be happy that it's going to be the year of the horse on the Chinese zodiac, even though I'm not Chinese. But I am, in fact, a horse on that same zodiac. Excuse me. And to keep this channel going, I think I might re-upload a few of my older videos with the new glass cube graphics before we go into my 11th year on the last week of February. And to come in late August is that I'll be streaming on a new platform, because after hearing about the increase of predators on StreamYard, it made sense why I quit doing that. But if I were to do more streams in the next year, I have to meet with my life coach and try to overcome fluster, because there's so much I want to talk about and it's hard to keep it all in my head. But I'll tell you straight away, I'll be forging some virtual swords, especially for my cousin Ashley, who might be watching this right now. So while I feel like there's been no hope for me that year, I hope that 2026 will turn this all around. And I should be happy that I get to see my bestie Virgilio in the next week or so. We're going to have so much to talk about when I see him, and that should definitely help me overcome my fluster. And I won't have to deal with so many yappers talking out of turn like I did in other StreamYard streams, or off-air video chats. And I did move on from all the ES drama. Is that how you say it? Because I know it's not healthy to be a part of it. But regardless, I will continue to take care of myself in the next coming year. That happens to be tomorrow already. And you know what? Today also marks 2 years since I made the switch to my Galaxy S23 Ultra. But expect a video on what happened over the years, because it hasn't been looking good in terms of the camera software. And Samsung has already killed off the space zoom camera hardware, replacing 10 times optical zoom with 5 times digital zoom, which makes me feel very afraid of upgrading my phone, given the direction Samsung has gone in. I can't speak. We'll save that for the video to come, but in the meantime, I wish you a wonderful 2026, and I hope things will work out better for you folks out there as they will for me, even if I haven't believed it. But I know that while my glass may be half empty, I know there's still much more left in the picture. I mean, I'm always seeking the optimism in things. That should help me understand that there's a lot to expect in the long run, but I'd rather focus on now. And right now, all I can say at this point is, thank you very much for watching this video, and so long for now. No, it's repeating itself. I think I'll still need a hug.